It was meant to be another spectacular night on Jin's Run Seokjin EP tour, a sold-out stadium packed with cheering armies, an emotional setlist, and a surprise duet with Jungkook that had already gone viral. But no one, not even the most seasoned fans, could have predicted what happened backstage just minutes before the final encore. Bang Si-hyuk, the founder of big hit music and the man who first believed in BTS, appeared unannounced at Jin's solo concert in Anaheim. Clad in a simple black hoodie and baseball cap, Bang PD, as he is fondly called, quietly arrived with minimal security and no fanfare. He was not seated in the VIP row. He did not enter through the front gates. According to a tour staff member who requested anonymity, Bang entered through the loading dock area just 10 minutes before the show began and asked not to be announced or seen publicly. But it wasn't just a visit. What followed has been described by crew and insiders as one of the most emotional moments in BTS history. As Jin and Jungkook prepared for their closing number backstage, an acoustic rendition of Tonight, dedicated to the fans, Bang Si-hyuk approached them without a word. Jungkook was the first to notice him, and in a rare, unguarded moment, immediately embraced him. Jin turned shortly after and stopped in his tracks. For a moment, no one spoke, and then, quietly but clearly, Bang said, "You both make me proud every single day. You didn't need to, but you chose to keep going. That's what real stars are." According to staff in the room, Jungkook's eyes welled with tears. Jin, known for holding it together in emotional situations, visibly choked up. Bang reached into his coat pocket and handed each of them a small token, later revealed to be custom-made pins engraved with their trainee nicknames, Seokjin and Cookie, and the phrase, "Still here, always." What makes this appearance even more impactful is that Bang Si-hyuk has rarely been seen at live BTS events since the group's global breakout. Though he's often praised from afar, his decision to show up in person without press, without cameras, without corporate agenda, spoke volumes, and part of the moment was shown on the live screens. No social media posts from Bang PD followed. But armies quickly picked up on something different when Jin and Jungkook returned to the stage for the encore. They were holding back tears, said one fan who attended the Anaheim show. You could see it in Jungkook's eyes. Jin was smiling, but it wasn't the same. It was like something massive had just happened. And then came the song. When Jin began to sing the first verse of Tonight, Jungkook walked toward him mid-performance, breaking the choreo, took his hand, and whispered something into his ear. Cameras captured Jin's visible reaction, a mixture of surprise and overwhelming gratitude. Fans now believe Jungkook whispered, "He's here." He saw everything. By the time the final note was sung, the arena wasn't just roaring, it was sobbing. Backstage, after the show, insiders say the trio sat together in Jin's dressing room for nearly an hour, speaking candidly about life, music, and everything in between. According to one HYBE staffer, Bang Si-hyuk told Jin, "You're not just doing a tour, you're rewriting history." Quietly, gracefully. This one night in Anaheim, already hailed as a landmark moment in K-pop, will likely go down as a symbolic reunion between past, present, and future. Jin, the eldest Hyung, carrying the tour on his back with grace. Jungkook, the golden magne, standing proudly beside him. And Bang Si-hyuk, the man who started it all, watching silently from the shadows, beaming with pride, and media coverage. No official press release. Just three men, forever linked, sharing a private moment in the middle of a global storm. And as the tour moves forward, one thing is clear. This wasn't just another concert stop. It was a homecoming, a full-circle moment, and maybe, just maybe, a quiet signal that BTS, in all its forms, is still being written. A S-word of Bang Si-hyuk's silent appearance began to leak through fan accounts and insider whispers. Social media exploded with speculation, emotions, and deep gratitude. Hashtags like #BangPD in Anaheim, #Jin Jungkook Encore, and #Still Here Always quickly began trending worldwide. Despite there being no official footage of Bang's presence, armies, known for their ability to piece together timelines and emotional beats, began analyzing every second of the encore. From Jungkook's trembling voice in the harmony to the way Jin briefly looked towards stage left before bowing, fans realized something had shifted. This wasn't just a performance. It was a message, a reassurance, a quiet declaration that family still stands behind BTS. Even when you can't see eye to eye in the days that followed, fans shared stories of how much Bang Si-hyuk means to them, not just as a music executive, but as someone who believed in Seven Boys from the start. For Jin and Jungkook, this appearance wasn't simply support, it was a symbol of their roots, their journey, and their unshakable bond with the man who risked everything to launch BTS when no one else would. A longtime HYB choreographer posted a cryptic message on Instagram the day after the Anaheim show, writing, "When the father figure shows up silently, it hits harder than any fireworks." That sentiment echoed everywhere. It wasn't the grand gesture that made it powerful, it was the intimacy, the intentional silence. Bang Si-hyuk didn't need to be seen. His presence alone altered the energy of the room, both for the artists and for those privileged enough to witness it from behind the scenes. Rumors have since emerged that Bang PD may appear again during the Run Seokjin EP tour, specifically in London and Seoul, the two most symbolic stops on the tour. London, where BTS sold out Wembley and made history, and Seoul, their hometown, where it all began. Whether or not he makes another appearance, the message has already been delivered loud and clear. Even when BTS members stand solo, they never stand alone. For Jin, this show was a personal triumph. His first world tour as a soloist, his return from military service, his mission to show the world who Seokjin really is behind the global idol image. For Jungkook, it was an emotional bridge, joining his Hyung on stage not out of duty, but out of love and brotherhood. And for Bang Si-hyuk, this night was not a comeback to the spotlight, but a confirmation. A quiet reminder that while his face may fade from the stage, his heart never left it. The next morning, Jungkook posted a rare behind-the-scenes photo on Weverse. No one else in the shot, just a blurry selfie of himself, eyes slightly red, standing in front of a dressing room door marked Seokjin. The caption was simple, "Thank you for coming, even when you didn't have to." He didn't say who he was talking about. He didn't have to, because armies already knew. Within minutes of Jungkook's post, thousands of comments poured in. Fans from around the world left heartfelt messages filled with crying emojis, purple hearts, and quotes from past BTS documentaries that now seem to take on new meaning. One fan wrote, "You don't always need cameras to make history. Sometimes it happens in the silence." As speculation swirled, neither Jin nor Bang Si-hyuk made any public statements about the encounter. But fans noticed something subtle, yet powerful. On Jin's Instagram story, a muted black and white photo appeared briefly. The corner of a dressing room mirror, two pins resting side by side, one reading Seokjin and the other Cookie. It vanished after a few hours, but screenshots made their way around fan forums, igniting even more theories and emotions. Later that evening, a veteran HYB staff member anonymously told Korean media outlet Star One that Bang Si-hyuk had been quietly following Jin's tour rehearsals for months from afar, checking in with choreographers and sound engineers without ever stepping into the spotlight. According to the source, he wanted Jin to own it. He wanted the world to see him for who he is now, not just a member of BTS, but a man who's grown into a powerful artist. And he wanted Jungkook to be by his side when that truth finally came alive on stage. This revelation reframed the entire Anaheim night for many fans. It wasn't just Bang PD showing up, it was him passing the torch again, this time in a more personal, more emotional way. Some insiders even hinted that Bang Si-hyuk had a hand in selecting the final encore song, Tonight, knowing the deep personal ties it held for Jin. The song, written about Jin's love for his late pets and his reflections on quiet, unspoken love, took on a new resonance in the presence of someone who had nurtured his journey from the very beginning. Across fan communities, this story is no longer just about a concert. It's about mentorship, about chosen family, about what it means to return, not just physically, but emotionally. Music critics around the world also began weighing in. Billboard Korea called the moment a generational passing of emotion, raw and unfiltered. Rolling Stone Japan said, "This is what makes BTS different. The architecture behind them is built on heart, not just hits." As the Run Seokjin EP tour rolls on, fans are beginning to expect the unexpected. Not because of rumors or teasers, but because Jin is showing the world what artistry looks like when it's rooted in something real, and Jungkook is showing what loyalty looks like when it has nothing to prove. And somewhere, watching from behind the curtain, Bang Si-hyuk is smiling, not because they're perfect, but because they're real. And for him, for all of us, that's more than enough. As the tour moved toward its next destination, Dallas, excitement was already bubbling in the fandom. But this time, it wasn't just about the setlist, the vocals, or the dazzling visuals. It was about the energy, an emotional current that had been set in motion in Anaheim and was now rippling through the hearts of millions. Fans weren't just showing up for music anymore. They were showing up for meaning, and Jin knew it. During the next soundcheck in Dallas, several VIP attendees reported that Jin and Jungkook seemed unusually focused. One fan even noted that Jungkook stayed on stage after the rehearsal had ended, quietly looking out at the empty stadium seats for a long moment. When a staff member approached, Jungkook reportedly smiled and said, "It feels different now, like it's bigger than just us." Later that night, the Dallas performance began with the same crisp energy the tour had come to be known for. But during the second half of the concert, something unexpected happened. Before launching into The Astronaut, Jin paused. The arena hushed. "I didn't plan on saying anything," he said, "but someone told me recently that the quietest moments are sometimes the loudest ones. So, if you've ever supported me, even in silence, I heard you." The crowd erupted. Jungkook, standing off to the side, bit his lip and gave a small, knowing smile. It was clear this tour was evolving, not just as a career milestone, but as a healing journey. And not just for Jin, but for everyone involved. Backstage, insiders confirmed that HYE had increased emotional wellness support for Jin's tour crew following Anaheim. A new counselor had joined the road team, and Bang Si-hyuk himself was reportedly staying in direct contact with key personnel. One source close to the company said, "This isn't just about a concert. Bang PD sees this as a defining chapter for Jin, for Jungkook, and for BTS as a whole." Meanwhile, fans began rallying to launch an unofficial project, the Still Here, Always banner wave. At every remaining city, armies planned to hold up banners with the phrase, whether it was Seoul, Chicago, or Amsterdam, sending a message of permanence and support that transcended language, distance, and even time. The impact was immediate. In London, as thousands of fans lifted the white and purple banners during Moon, Jin stopped mid-performance and visibly blinked back tears. Cameras caught Jungkook stepping toward him without hesitation, gently placing a hand on his back, steadying him. They didn't need to speak. The audience already understood. Back in South Korea, local news stations began covering the emotional thread weaving its way through the tour. One headline from the Korea Herald read, "Run Seokjin tour becomes testament to BTS's brotherhood and the man who started it all." Even fans who had never met Bang Si-hyuk began expressing gratitude toward him. Some trended hashtags like #ThankYouBangPD, while others created tribute videos on TikTok showcasing Bang's earliest interactions with BTS, paired with recent tour footage of Jin and Jungkook. And then, quietly, a new detail emerged. Bang Si-hyuk had reportedly requested no media coverage and no photos be taken of him during his surprise Anaheim visit. Not for secrecy, but for purity. He wanted the moment to belong only to Jin and Jungkook, to them, and the armies who would carry it forward. As the final concert date in Seoul began to draw near, rumors started swirling. Would Bang PD appear again? Would he step out from the shadows this time? But to many fans, it no longer mattered, because his presence had already been felt, his silent affirmation, "I see you. I'm proud of you," had changed everything. For Jin, it gave weight to every lyric he sang. For Jungkook, it deepened his loyalty to the stage and the brothers standing beside him. And for the fans, it reminded them why BTS's story continues to resonate around the globe. Because it's real, it's raw, and it's built on love. And no matter how loud the lights shine or how big the stadiums grow, at the heart of it all is a quiet promise, a promise whispered backstage, carried across oceans, held tightly in the hearts of millions. Still here. Always.